about Suede. It was impossible to not. I ended up in Los Angeles for a while. There was a period in Los Angeles when I was kind of down and out in Beverly Hills, and I had no money. And I would go to a store called Aaron's on Highland to sell stuff like CDs, you know?
Yeah.
In the import section, I saw Dogman Star.
Yeah.
And I bought it, and I don't know why I bought it. Got in my car and put it on. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Isn't that introducing the band, the first track, something like that?
Yeah.
Winterland? There's a reference.
Europe, America, Winterland, yeah. You were the only person that ever asked me about that lyric, because you said, is there anything to do with the Sex Pistols' final gig?
Wow, that's interesting.
To do with the last gig.
Yeah.
They played at Winterland in San Francisco. And you're the only person that I ever met that got that reference there.
I loved it. Dogman Star became this kind of bridge for me.
Yeah.
Like in touch to London, and also that I was going to take that bridge back soon. So I kind of found myself back in London in the summer of '94. My friend Trevor Key, the photographer, and I was in his studio one day, and a guy called Toby McFarlane Pond, who was assisting him. Toby just out of the blue said, Nude Records called, and he said, oh, they're Suede's label. I said, it wasn't about Suede, was it? And Toby said, dunno, could have been. That's too weird. I just spent the last 6 months like clinging on to a lifeline called Suede. And I remember distinctly that I said, yes, I'd actually want to meet you, but I wanted to meet you to say hello. And I'm going to say something that I've never said to a musician before, never needed to say it, but I'm a fan. Okay, I never had to say that to anyone. All of that work I did with Factory, they were my own acquaintances, friends, same generation. You know, we were all starting out together, so I was not actually a fan. But I came to meet you and said, Brett, I am a fan. And I said, I'm delighted that it's really nice to meet you. It's very nice that you wanted to meet me. But I did say that I couldn't do your record sleeve.
Right.
And you said, why? And I asked you how old you were.
Yeah. Late 20s.
And I said, and I'm just about 40.
Yeah.
So that's why I can't do your sleeve.
Yeah.
And at 40, I didn't know what an 18-year-old was into. So I wrote a list and I said to Saul, Brett should go and see these people. But I said, if he still wants to work with me, we'll figure out a way of doing it. And Saul said to me, he'll still do it with you, you know. I said, fine, but like, please get him to see someone else. So anyway, so it came to pass. And at that time, by then, I'd moved into the apartment in Mayfair.
I remember turning up there at breaks between recording, and you'd always be in your dressing gown.
Yeah.
And you'd sort of like wander down the stairs and blearily yawning and asking for coffee, like some sort of character in an Evelyn Waugh novel, you know. It was all...
In a way, it was. That was what it was for a while, you know. It had been an Indian millionaire's kind of shag pad.
When you'd finally agreed to do the sleeve, after I'd twisted your arm.
Yeah.
I remember, because I used to come in, and then I'd be sort of like flicking through these books.
Yeah. What I remembered deciding was that I would help you do your sleeve.
Previously, with the first 2 albums and all of those singles, it had been basically those things. It had been my sort of designs, really. They were kind of pictures I found in books.
Yeah.
And they
Which
were
is the way it happens. That's always
pictures
the way
I found in books. And what happened with the band, Bernard leaving and Neil and Richard joining, was very much a new band.
Yeah.
It was very much, let's do everything differently, let's have a different attitude. You know, I'd grown up with lots of your work and, you know, especially Unknown Pleasures. That was something that I kind of spent I actually remember in my little room in Hayward Heath, I did a pencil drawing of it above my doorway.
Nice.
This little pencil thing. I can still see it now.
That's nice.
Your work was kind of part of my kind of childhood in a funny sort of way. So it was quite sort of amazing meeting you in lots of ways, because it was a kind of link to a different side of my life.
She can walk out anytime she wants to walk out. That's fine.
after one of these visits, I was thinking, God, what does he want? And I went and looked on the bookshelf, and I saw this. Paul Wunderlich. This was a book that I'd picked up like in a second-hand shop in the 80s. And it was in the kind of under the description of like, so wrong it's right. There were things in this that were just seemed so terrible that they were interesting. And that was in the 80s.
Perfect for Suede.
Absolutely perfect. But I was like, but this is like, it's a fashion thing. So of course, what can look interesting but wrong in like 88 can look interesting and incredibly right in 94.
Yeah.
And there was this kind of weird psychedelic surreal quality that this had. And I kind of thought, wow, this could be it. And I risked showing it to you the next time you came round. And amazingly, you liked it.
I like the sort of the surreal element of it, and I love the sort of like the sexuality of it. But I like the garishness as well. And the music that we were making with Coming Up was a lot more brash and poppy.
Yeah.
And it seemed to sort of sit with that, whereas the stuff that we were doing, Dogman Star, there's something kind of crepuscular, there's something murky about it.
And also there's something very interesting in Wunderlich stuff. It's very kind of gender fluid. The men, the women, the boys, the girls in his work really do kind of morph into one another. It's
absolutely.
kind of very ambiguous. And once we found this, I knew who we could work with to photograph it, and that would be Nick Knight. Leading up to it, where we were working on a very advanced print computer called a paint box. So it was before Photoshop.
This is all actually
That's all
hand-painted
painted.
then,
Well,
presumably.
Wunderlich takes lots of photographs and then he paints it.
Yeah.
What we were going to do was take the photographs, take lots of photographs, put them in layers, colour photographs, black and white photographs, negative photographs, like a layer cake of imagery, and use the paint box to go through the different layers, which is exactly how Photoshop now works. The key moment about this cover, we talked what we were going to do. There would be three people, a kind of gender-wise, kind of a bit ambiguous, and they would be in the studio. And then I spoke to you on the phone one day, and I said, Brett, what should they be on? And what I was thinking was that in lots of the Wunderlich pictures, there were things like zebra skins and tiger skins and things. So I was thinking, should it be some kind of rug? And you would say, well, they're on a mattress, aren't they? And I went, yeah, of course they're on a mattress. There's concrete floor in the studio. They're on a mattress, but what's on the mattress? And then you went, well, it's a mattress. There's too many drugs, right? So, yeah, there's three people. They're on the floor. They're on a mattress, but what's covering the mattress? And you went, well, nothing, just the mattress. And then you said, like in a squat. I was like, okay, that is perfect. Nick and I then went to a prop house to do a casting for mattresses, okay, to find the best one. And of course, we found this amazing striped one. And it's the mattress makes it. The mattress is the strongest thing in the picture. The mattress is what gives it this kind of cultural demographic.
Yeah.
The mattress is brilliant.
The mattress is very strong, but the composition is amazing.
Yeah, that composition and the mattress, the fade background, and you can see here from the paint box where there's like full detail of the boy's face in black and white, and then this kind of solarized color on her face. This girl then is completely kind of color faded out to give that kind of coming up feeling.
Yeah. And this, for me, sums up that lots of the themes on Coming Up. I'm talking about, especially songs like Beautiful Ones. It's about this sort of hedonistic kind of pursuit of fun, basically.
Doing this with you created a work that I would never have done before. That the thing about the mattress, it was like, there's a certain sort of bourgeois pretension to the work I'd done in the 80s. And this was like a real counterpoint to that. Yeah. And I'm very happy to have done that.
Yeah. For me,